We have two packages. For further information, please contact volunteers. We really would appreciate if you guys could financially help, and obviously we need volunteers because it is quite hefty running and preparing for events like this. Salawat. One more thing to mention, we have arranged a room at the back for parents to take their kids so that the majlis can run smoothly. Please do utilize it. I would like to invite Sister Zahra al-Mahabis to partake in the majlis and share her poetic words. Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum. Today I want to share with you a poem addressed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, expressing deep sorrow over what befell his grandson Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Please join me with your tears to show our Prophet how heartbroken we are over the pain inflicted upon his progeny. Salawat. O patient Prophet, look what has been done. O patient Prophet, the time has now come, the day you dreaded most. The sand is burning, the desert isn't a friendly host. Husaynun minni wa ana min Husayn, the words you once spoke on the tip of your grandson's tongue, as on his own blood he now chokes. He's tried to remind them of your deep connection. The sun rises and sets upon your shoulders, and he is your sunlight in every dimension. He is the child whose chest you used to kiss. Now his chest is the one upon which Shimr sits. His head is paraded as though it's a prize. If only they looked at it and saw into his eyes, they'd see your reflection, willing to die over again just to be his protection. See how strong he is in faith. Many times against his neck the sword struck, yet his mouth still utters the words of the holy book. Indeed from you, knowledge is not all he took. Hussein is the reason roses turn red, red like the blood that he bled, and he falls the way petals fall, graceful even when heading towards death. And when death saw Hussein hit the ground, even death held its breath. For how dare we breathe when Hussein has no breath left? Ya Prophet, this is your grandson, arrow in his heart, no air in his lungs, body apart, parched tongue. And what can we say for your granddaughter, Zainab, who saw her family like animals slaughtered? Or perhaps we should say what Sajjad did say, when he cried, even animals would not be treated this way. Even animals are given water before they are brought to slaughter. O Prophet, where was the mercy for the children of your daughter? But how can we expect mercy for them when the same was not given to her? There's a fire and a heat which has been felt before. Zainab receives a memory of a haunted door, and as the air fills with smoke, Zainab hears starved children choke, a sound all too familiar as she remembers Hassan coughing up his liver. And as she watches Hussein's last prayer, she remembers her father's final fajr. O Prophet, this is your granddaughter. Look at evil and how much it takes. Look at Zainab and how her back breaks. I bet in the heavens Ayub is crying with you, wishing to break the skies to pull your loved ones through. For Ayub has known suffering too, but not like yours, O Muhammad. Not like yours, O Muhammad. But still you are patient, with a beautiful patience, and your family have faith without hesitation. Surely you are the best of creation. Salawat.
Salawat. The year is 61 after Hijrah. Thursday, the 2nd Muharram. The messenger of Ibn Ziyad La'natullah alayh carries strict orders to Hur. Do not leave Hussein. The battered caravan of the Imam passes through Ghazaliya to reach Karbala. Upon arrival, the Imam sighs and asks for the name of the place. Someone replies, "This is Karbala." Yes, this is Karbala. Salawat. I'd now like to invite Sister Fatima Al-Hakim to share her poetic words about the Ahlul Bayt. Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, tonight's poem is a conversation that I imagine would have taken place between Sayyidah Ruqayya alayhi salam and her father, Imam Hussein, before he enters the battlefield. So in their honor, please recite aloud salawat. O Father, I'm sorry for making your departure so unbearable. I'm sorry I can't bid farewell whilst I whisper prayers for a miracle. From all of the stories that to me you've read, you didn't tell me what was the happy ending of a pair like us who are so inseparable. Father, before you leave, answer me this. From the wars that against us they waged, what was it that they wanted to achieve? To them what is so desirable? Did they not learn from Grandfather Ali that they cannot remove the legacy of an infallible? O Father, a lump I feel form within my throat, all of the energy left within my weak 4-year-old self to keep you next to me I will devote. I feel with each footstep that in the sand you make, it's within my throat shake. O Father, please me with you take, or please do not leave. I cannot breathe. I feel my chest become tighter and tighter and the knot tightens within my throat. I feel my rib cages close in on themselves, maybe to protect my small heart that's pumping uncontrollably, way out of its capacity. Ali, Ali, oh grandfather, help me, I repeat within my head, because he said, call upon me and I will help, then tell my father to stay, O Ali. Soon an orphan I will be. Soon torture I will see. This is my final plea. Oh Father, please stay besides me. Who in this world do you love this much besides me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making your departure so unbearable. I'm sorry I can't bid farewell whilst I whisper prayers for a miracle. With semi-parched lips crusting in the heat and eyes swelling with tears, I imagine my 4 years without you. My sleepless nights without my head resting on your chest. My eyelids aching yet refusing to rest. I look around, maybe I'll find the comfort that I do with you in the rest, but at best, it I find in your memory, in the dark shadows in which you leave me. Believe me, Father, when I say, with every Hussein that'll come after you, I'll only ever remember you. With every kind act that I'll see, I'll only ever see you. With every kind word that I hear, the voice will always lead back to you. Every woven sajjada, every sibha, every turban, every smile will always be yours too, because the definition of my life is you, O Father, O Hussein. I saw you with a sorrowful kind look in your eye, pat the heads and comfort the daughters of Muslim, may he rest in peace. But when my heart is no longer is in one piece, when my tears refuse to cease, who will pat my head and put my fears to rest? Who in me time will invest, O Father Hussein? Answer me. I'm sorry. Your pain is now so visible, but the pain I feel to yours is uncomparable, for with it I have to live. I'm sorry for making your departure so unbearable. I'm sorry that I won't bid farewell, for I still pray for a miracle. How can the source of my happiness be the reason of my deepest pain? My heart shatters to pieces each time I hear your faint voice call, stay with me, Father Hussein. Your tears are precious to me, and your smile I truly miss. O daughter, remember I once said that a house with you in it is pure bliss, and one without you is not worth living in. I'm sorry, my beloved kin, but I promise and do not fear that no one will remember you. If loneliness now fills your heart, soon you'll have a throne within the hearts of so many. They'll use you as their gate of intercession. They will commemorate all of this oppression. So do not tug at the hooves of my horse. Do not bow your head in shame. Do not let your voice break when you call out my name. And always, in your times of distress, remember, right beside you will be your father Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat. Before I call up the Sheikh, and all the brothers please stand up and move as far forward possible. Salawat. Just a brief introduction about the Sheikh. Sheikh Muhammad Abbas Panju was born in Nairobi, Kenya, where he grew up and he completed his O-level studies. Upon completion of his O-levels in Kenya, Sheikh then migrated to the US to pursue college studies. He then moved to Canada where he completed his university degree. Sheikh then migrated to Syria to pursue his Islamic studies at the Hawza level. Having served as resident alim for 5 years in London, the Sheikh now manages the Imam Hussein Development and Relief Foundation that focuses on humanitarian and relief in Iraq. So with the loudest of your salawats, could you please call up the Sheikhs? Salawat.
رحم الله من قرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله بارئ الخلائق الأجمعين، باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء، حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين، لا سيما ولي الله الحجة ابن الحسن صاحب الأمر والزمان. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين إلى قيام يوم الدين. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله. يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة، يا غريب الغرباء، يا مظلوم كربلاء، السلام على من جعل الله الشفاء في تربته، السلام على من الإجابة تحت قبته، السلام على ساكن كربلاء. فيا ليتنا ثم يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي، يا سادتي، فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال مولانا أبو عبد الله الحسين صلوات الله وسلامه عليه: فإني لا أعلم أصحابا أولى ولا خيرا من أصحابي. صدق الإمام وآمنا به. نوروا مجالسكم بذكر محمد وآل محمد. Karbala, the greatest revolution to have taken place for the sake of reformation of the religion. If somebody was to ask you, why did Imam al-Hussein stand up in revolution in Karbala? If you yourself want to understand why Imam al-Hussein stood up in Karbala and why he was willing to stand up even if it cost him the lives of those who were near and dear to him, including his 6-month-old infant. What was Imam al-Hussein standing for? Such that even if it meant Sayyida Zainab al-Kubra to be taken as a prisoner, then so be it. Imam al-Hussein clarifies, and Imam al-Hussein rather announces the reason for this revolution and this movement. While leaving the city of Medina, he says to his brother Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, وَإِنَّمَا, part of his wasiyah, he goes on to say, وَإِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ فِي أُمَّةِ جَدِّ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. Imam al-Hussein says that I am coming out in revolution in order to instigate and in order to provoke reformation in the religion of Islam, in the nation of my grandfather. The Islamic Ummah had regressed to such a despicable state, to such a sorry state. It was impossible to salvage this nation of Rasulullah and this religion of Islam until and unless there was a revolution with the magnitude, the likes of the blood of Imam al-Hussein being shed in order for this reformation to occur. And from here, we are able to understand that the revolution of Karbala became in history and still continues to become and will be the greatest source of inspiration for anybody who is seeking reformation, be it reformation of the nafs, the reformation of the self, or reformation of the religion at all its levels. The greatest, most strongest inspiration is Imam al-Hussein. Hence, Ahibai, during these days, with our grief and with our tears and with our emotions, these are days of resolution. A person who is not compliant in the religion, be it salat, be it hijab, be it any aspect, person who is looking for spiritual upliftment and spiritual contentment in life, person who is trying to unshackle himself from the connection with the dunya and materialism and atheistic cultures. This is the opportunity, and Imam al-Hussein is the inspiration. And we will expand on this perhaps in one of the later majalis. But you find that the greatest revolution to inspire reformation, a revolution that transcends time, a revolution that transcends creed and ethnicity and gender, the revolution of Imam al-Hussein. And you find that the fact Imam al-Hussein's revolution, the revolution of Karbala, is eternal and timeless, is based on a number of factors. A powerful revolution led by a powerful leader. How can the revolution not be eternal and timeless when the leader of that revolution is divinely selected and infallible and the master of the youth of paradise himself? Yani Imam al-Hussein. For Karbala was not only exceptional in the sense that the leader of the revolution was exceptional, but you find that Karbala as a revolution was successful and continues to be successful and inspirational because of those companions and those supporters of Imam al-Hussein. Men of steel, men with souls that are brave, men with hearts that are generous, men who believed in their leader, men who believed in reformation of that religion, who did not think twice when it came to giving up their own lives for the sake of this revolution and the sake of the master of this revolution. And therefore, you and I, who attempt, or you and I, who wish to be from amongst the Ansar and the Ashab of the awaited Savior of mankind, Imam Sahib al-Amri wa Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. For you and I who aspire to be from amongst the Ashab and the Ansar of Imam al-Hussein, or the Ansar and the Ashab of Imam al-Hujjah, it becomes important and necessary for us to seek lessons from the companions of Imam al-Hussein, such that we can at least have some of these characters, nurture some of these characters within us, and make us eligible to be from amongst the companions of the awaited Imam. And therefore, for us, Karbala and Ashura is a benchmark. What characters did they have? What traits did they have? What their personality was? One by one from these 72. We need to be familiar and then emulate. And you find that these great men of revolution, the 72 companions of Imam al-Hussein, the manner in which they are praised indicates their glory and the high status that they achieved. You find that Imam al-Hussein himself on the night of Ashura addresses his companions and he says, أما بعد فإني لا أعلم أصحابا أولى ولا خيرا من أصحابي. Indeed, I do not know of any companions who are more loyal and more better than my companions. Ajib. This is Imam al-Hussein, Sayyid al-Shuhada, Imam Ma'asum, who is given ilmul ghaib, has knowledge of the seen and the unseen as per the Quran. This Imam is saying, I do not know of any other companions more loyal than you. Does it mean that the Imam doesn't have knowledge? La. An Imam who Allah has given knowledge of everything, the seen and the unseen. When he says, I do not know of companions more loyal than you, ya'ani, there does not exist from the beginning of time any other companions more loyal than you. The companions of Nabi Musa who crossed the Red Sea, more loyal than the companions of Nabi Isa who are known as the Hawariyin, more loyal than the companions of Rasulullah. Do not think that this is an exaggeration, because in regards to the companions of Rasulullah, an entire surah, Suratul Munafiq, the surah of the hypocrites, was revealed upon them. Because there were those amongst the companions who were pious, and there were those who were not, evil as can be. But you find within these 72 of Imam al-Hussein, the purest of the pure. No other prophet, no other Imam, no other divine saint has ever had a following more loyal than these 72 were to Imam al-Hussein. And you find the manner in which Ahlul Bayt address them within their ziyarah. We need to contemplate when we perform the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein, the words that are taught to us by Ahlul Bayt on the etiquette of addressing the companions of Imam al-Hussein. You find that within the hadith or within the ziyarah narrated by Ahlul Bayt, one of the ziyarat of the companions of Imam al-Hussein, which is supposed to be recited on the 15th of Rajab. We have many days within the year where it is absolutely recommended to do the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein. Every year in the year is mustahab, but there are some that have khususiyat. Laylatul Qadr. One of the most important a'mal of Laylatul Qadr is the ziyarat of Imam al-Hussein. One of the most important a'mal on the night of Eid is the ziyarat of Imam al-Hussein. And the 15th of Sha'ban, ziyarat of Imam al-Hussein. Ashura, Arba'in. Similarly, you have 15th of Rajab. 15th of Rajab, a day makhsus for the ziyarah of Imam al-Hussein. When you perform the visitation of Aba Abdullah on the 15th of Rajab, you address the companions. Ma'soom Imam has taught us the ziyarah. You address them by saying, Assalamu alaikum ya tahirina min ad-danas. Peace be upon you, the mass grave by the haram of Imam al-Hussein, by the qabr of Imam al-Hussein. All the 72 companions, if not more, in fact, hatman more than 72, are buried together in one mass grave, which we see. And you are entering from Babul Qibla to the dhari of Imam al-Hussein on your right hand side. And Habib ibn Madahir has his own particular khas grave. For you address them by saying, peace be upon you, O you who were purified from every type of vice and evil. A ma'soom imam who is purified through the verse of tathir is addressing his companions, the companions of his grandfather Imam al-Hussein, by saying, peace be upon you, O purified people. People who have purified their souls from every type of evil. And more stranger than that, the Imam tells us, when you address these companions of Imam al-Hussein, you read their ziyarah. Assalamu alaykum ya Mahdiyun. Peace be upon you, O Mahdis. The word Mahdi in plural, Mahdiyun. This is something very strange, because the title Mahdi is restricted to the 12th Imam in general, in particular. The word Mahdi or the title Mahdi, yani the one who guides, is particularly used for the 12th Imam. But you also find hadith where at a general level, the word Mahdi is applicable on every ma'soom imam, because every imam guides you towards Allah. How is it that the companions of Imam al-Hussein have been given the title which is generally used by the ma'soom imams or for the ma'soom imams? Over here, ulama come forward and give us tafsir. They say, when you say, Assalamu alaykum ya Mahdiyun, peace be upon you, O righteous guided people, people who guide you. Yani, if you are looking for inspiration in regards to following truth, on who to follow as an imam and how to follow from the imam, look no further than these 72 companions. These 72 companions are Mahdi in that they guide you towards the Imam, and every one of the Imam is a Mahdi because that he guides you to Allah Azza wa Jal. Look at the chain hierarchy. A great Azim daraja given to the companions of Imam al-Hussein. They were not ma'soom to rewrite the pages of history for eternity. With this as an introduction, Ahibba'i, I wish tonight to discuss one personality from these 72 grand companions of Imam al-Hussein. And this person is known as Burayr ibn Khudayr al-Hamadani al-Kufi. Burayr, one of the companions of Imam al-Hussein. And we try to get a glimpse of some part of his greatness by looking at the various aspects of his lives. I want to touch three. Number one, the tribe which he came from. Number two, his achievements as a Shia and as a follower of Ahlul Bayt. In other words, if you want to say, his CV. And number three, his stances on the day of Ashura and perhaps before the day of Ashura, if time permits us. All this with Allah. That Burayr, the companion of Imam al-Hussein, his full name, Burayr ibn Khudayr al-Hamadani al-Kufi. Burayr, the son of Khudayr. He was from the tribe of Hamadan and was a resident of the city of Kufa. The tribe of Hamadan is a tribe that originally hails from Yemen. And how this tribe, known as Bani Hamadan, converted to Islam, the story is actually very interesting. And this is mentioned by historians. Islam as a geopolitical and ideological force was so great, people from the surrounding areas of Hijaz were attracted towards Islam. And one of these regions was the region of Yemen. And towards Islam, on the other hand, the people are getting a negative image of Islam. And perhaps this is why Rasulullah sent Khalid bin Walid as a lesson to show the people even across time. There are only certain individuals who can represent Islam in its entirety. For upon failing, Rasulullah calls upon Maulana Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, to go to Yemen and to remove Khalid bin Walid from his position, and to go and invite the people of Yemen towards Islam, and in particular the tribe of Bani Hamadan. Bani Hamadan being the most influential and most powerful tribe in Yemen, and in particular North Yemen. The historians mention that Amirul Mu'mineen came to Yemen with a letter from Rasulullah and began to recite verses of the Quran, explaining their hidden meanings, their apparent meanings, and with the best of akhlaq within the shortest period of time, the entire Bani Hamadan from Yemen entered into the fold of Islam due to the guidance and the tabligh of Maulana Amirul Mu'mineen. Together with Bani Hamadan entering into Islam, majority of the people from Yemen also entered into Islam. And therefore you find that at that time, the Yemeni people and the Bani Hamadan in particular had a very special affiliation and connection with Amirul Mu'mineen, because it was he that was responsible for bringing them into Islam. So they had a very deep attachment and connection with Amirul Mu'mineen, which is why when the apparent leadership and Khilafah was given to Amirul Mu'mineen and he moved the seat of Khilafah from Medina to Kufa, the historians mention that 50,000 people from the tribe of Bani Hamadan migrated from Yemen to Kufa. And they then became the backbone from the supporters of Amirul Mu'mineen for the time that Amirul Mu'mineen had the Zahiri Khilafah inside of Kufa. In fact, historians tell us that the population of Kufa at that time was close to 300,000 people. For from 300,000 people, you have 50,000, which is about what? 1/6 of a population that has strong affiliation with Amirul Mu'mineen. And you find that Muawiyah recognized this, which is why upon the martyrdom of Amirul Mu'mineen, when Muawiyah took hold unlawfully the control of the entire Islamic Ummah, the first thing that he did is he unleashed his terror on the city of Kufa, and in particular on the tribe of Bani Hamadan. Thousands of them were executed, while thousands of others were forced into exile and scattered all across the Muslim lands. In fact, historians have even come forward and said that a number of the people from Bani Hamadan, when they fled Kufa in fear of the execution of Muawiyah, a lot of them fled towards Jabal Amil, present-day Lebanon. And the presence of Shia, staunch, strong Shia, is attributed to Bani Hamadan, and at the top of them, or the helm of the people of Jabal Amil entering into Tashayyu', the credit goes to Abu Dhar, rahmatullah alayh. Abu Dhar, the companion of Rasulullah. And therefore, if you keep in mind the history of the tribe of Bani Hamadan, Burayr was born from this tribe of Bani Hamadan. And therefore, coming from a family and a tribe that had great affiliation and love for Amirul Mu'mineen, you find that Burayr walks in the same steps as his clan, as his tribe, as his family. And again over here there are lessons. Tonight I want to give you lessons in the way of isharat as we move. Burayr's love for Amirul Mu'mineen because of the family environment. A lesson for us, the environment that we create inside our house in regards to the love of Amirul Mu'mineen, our children follow in that footsteps. In any case, this is the tribe of Burayr, the tribe of Bani Hamadan, and this is how he was one of the dwellers of the city of Kufa. In regards to the achievements of Burayr, Burayr had a number of achievements that distinguished him from other Shia. What does it take to be within the army of the 12th Imam? Learn from the characteristics of Burayr. Number one, Burayr, first of all, Burayr was from the Tabi'iyyin. He was a Tabi'i, in that he was not from the Ashab of Rasulullah. The Tabi'i is a term that is given to that first generation of people that were born after the martyrdom of Rasulullah. Meaning that they never saw the Prophet with their eyes, but they lived amongst people who have seen the Holy Prophet firsthand, and they have recorded hadith from those people who have heard it firsthand from Rasulullah. Burayr was from this category of people, that first generation born after the martyrdom of the Holy Prophet. For the achievements of Burayr, number one, the books of Rijal mention that from the characteristics of Burayr, Kana Sayyidun Zuhad. Sayyidun Zuhad. He was the master when it came to Zuhud. Zuhud meaning detachment from this material world. He was not held back by materialism. He didn't fall in love with his possessions. He didn't fall in love with this dunya. He benefited from the world and everything that the world has to give to the extent that was necessary. Zuhud, by the way, when we say living a detached life from the dunya, doesn't mean that you shouldn't own anything good. La. Zuhud means that whatever you own, whatever you possess, make sure that it doesn't take priority over your religion. And if you have to give it up for the sake of religion, then you are willing to do so. And do not attain the dunya by means that are haram. This is what is meant by zuhud. For the historians mention Burayr was the master when it came to zuhud. Absolute detachment from the pleasures and the distractions of this world. Number one. Number two, Kana Sayyidul Ubad wan Nasikin. Burayr was a master when it came to worship and the etiquettes of worship, such that other historians have mentioned that Burayr in his life for a period of 40 years recited Salatul Isha and Salatul Fajr with a single wudu. Meaning what? For 40 years, he stayed up from the time of Salatul Isha to the time of Salatul Fajr, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without break. 40 years Burayr did this. Not only was he a master in worship, but in the etiquettes of worship. And this is important for us. We may not be able to spend 40 years, continuous 365 days a year in worship all night long. And all of us have commitments for school and work, bila shakkin wala rayb, and it's important that these commitments continue. But a person puts aside a part of his time. One night a month, I pull an all-nighter, but worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One night in a month, I pull an all-nighter, but studying the seerah of Ahlul Bayt. Spiritual exercises that strengthen us in regards to our relationship with our Creator. Burayr was known for this. Worshipping God is not important in itself. Worshipping God, in addition to worship, is knowing how to worship God. Taking interest to learn. I'm saying at a very basic level. Taking interest to learn how to do wudu correctly, for example. What invalidates my salat? What doesn't invalidate my salat? How do I come out from a state of najasa to a state of tahara? These are rules that are important. Rules that we have to take initiative to learn. So you find that from the life of Burayr, number one, He was a master when it came to the detachment from this dunya. Number 2, he was a master in worship, yani at the forefront, at the peak. Number 3, the historians mention that he was from Sayyidul Qura, yani from the Qari of the Quran. The Qari of the Quran, those who were reciters of the Quran, Qura'ul Quran, Burayr was the master of all of them. The most well-renowned reciter of Quran in Kufa, such that one of the people who was implicated in killing Burayr on the day of Ashura himself attests that I killed the person who used to recite Quran in Masjidul Kufa. Not only regular person, the master of Quran recitation in Masjidul Kufa, we killed him. And when you come back to history and you look at the usage of the word Qurra, doesn't mean just reciter of the Quran in that he had a good voice and he had good pronunciation. La, Qurra'ul Quran traditionally means these were people who had, not only did they used to recite Quran, but they had in-depth knowledge in regards to the tafsir of the Quran. And this is something absolutely important for us in this day and age, to build our connection with the Quran. Reciting the Quran in terms of having a quota of 5 verses, 10 verses, 20 verses every day is important. But more important than that is to be able to have access to a tafsir of the Quran which is accurate. Nobody is going to fight you on the meaning of Qul Huwallahu Ahad. They're going to fight you on the translation, on the tafsir, on the commentary of the meaning of this word ahad. Everybody reads the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. No one is going to dispute you on that. They will dispute you on the tafsir of the word khalifa. Now we have to be grounded when it comes to tafsir of the Quran. And in particular tafsir of Ahlul Bayt. Tafsir by hadith. We have number of tafsir of Quran that are purely about hadith. Every verse in the Quran, what did Baqir say, what did Sadiq say, what did Qadim say, what did Rida say. We need to have access to these tafsir of the Quran such that we understand the Quran from the words of Ahlul Bayt. Because when you do that, you now are paving the way to become the likes of Burayr for your Imam Zaman. For, in addition to being an alim of Quran and a tafsir of Quran, and the most famous of them, the historians mention that he was from the Hawariyin of Amirul Mu'mineen. He was from the disciples of Amirul Mu'mineen. This term Hawariyin is used for a very exclusive group of people who, when we say disciples, they lived their entire life around Amirul Mu'mineen and implemented every word that was uttered from the blessed mouth of Amirul Mu'mineen. The Hawariyin were the likes of Mitham at-Tammar and Kumail. You have from them Burayr. And therefore, you find that this is absolutely important for us. Like Burayr, who took all his teachings of the religion from Amirul Mu'mineen, it becomes important for us. What does Nahjul Balagha have to say about life? About the way we live our lives, the way we analyze social issues, political issues, economic issues. Nahjul Balagha needs to be the base, such that we have a chance to become one of those 313. For these are from the credentials of Burayr. And in addition to all this, being an alim in tafsir Quran, being a master in ibadat and in fasting and everything, Burayr was an author. Historians and ulama of Rijal have mentioned that Burayr authored a book on ahkam and qadaya. jurisprudential rulings in regards to law and application of law. This book of Burayr is known to be as one of the most important books from the Usulul Mu'tabara, the 400 core books authored by the companions of the Imam under direct watch of the Imam. And you find that books like Kitabul Kafi have taken from this usul. I believe we may have spoken about it in our last time we were here in Manchester. So, to be from the part of your Imam, to be from the party of your Imam, the companions of the Imams, my brothers and sisters, we need from amongst us those who are authors. We need from amongst us those who are masters in tafsir of Quran. We need each and every one of us to perfect our prayers and our worship. When you do all this, and the time of the imtihan happens, you become somebody like Burayr. From the stances Burayr made in his life, you find even around Ashura, Burayr stood out. Every companion was distinguished in his own manner. But one of the first stances of Burayr which is recorded is on the second day of Shahr Muharram, on a day like this day which just passed. 2nd of Muharram is when Ahlul Bayt reached, when Imam al-Hussein reached the land of Karbala. In the older books of the Maqatil, the historians mention that when Imam Hussein reached Karbala, he had 1,000 people with him. And then Imam al-Hussein turned around and said to them that this is the final destination. This is where we shall be. This is where we shall be killed, and this is where our blood will be spilled, and this is where our women will be taken as prisoner. The historians mention from these 1,000 people, close to 950 of them, as soon as they heard that this is where we are going to die, they disappeared from the ranks of the Imam. They followed the Imam from Mecca towards Karbala. They reached Karbala, they abandoned the Imam. And when they abandoned Imam al-Hussein uttered these timeless words where he said, the religion is stuck to the tongues of the people so long as it is beneficial to follow the religion. As soon as there is a little bit of difficulty, the people leave and abandon the religion. They compromise their faith, they run away. And at this point, Burayr stood up, because this is an important time in the revolution of Imam al-Hussein. 1,000 men have come to the desert for a revolution, and from these 1,000 men, 950 of them have disappeared and have run away. This is detrimental for the motivation of the rest of the remaining people, to rally them and to ensure that their motivation is at the highest level. You find Burayr stood up and he says to the Imam, before Burayr there were a number of companions who stood up, and their message was that, Ya Aba Abdullah, we shall never leave you. No matter if everybody abandons you, how many people abandon you, us, we're here for you. And over here, Burayr stood up and he said to Imam al-Hussein, قَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ بِكَ عَلَيْنَا أَن نُقَاتِلْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْكَ وَتُقَطَّعْ أَعْدَاؤُنَا فَيَكُونُ جَدُّكَ شَفِيعًا لَنَا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Something very strange to comprehend. Imam al-Hussein has just said, this is where you're going to be killed. 950 people have disappeared. Burayr stands up and he says to the Imam, Allah has blessed us that we may be killed defending you. Ajib. Who takes this as a blessing? He says, Allah has blessed us that we may be killed amongst you. Tafsir of this word. Anything you do in regards to Imam al-Hussein, Any difficulty that you face while serving Imam al-Hussein, any difficulty that you face while following the teachings of Imam al-Hussein, Ahibai, do not ever feel that this is becoming too burdensome and too tiring for you. La! It is an honor to face difficulties for the sake of Imam al-Hussein. An honor given to you by God. Your entire approach and the lens through which you analyze life changes when you put Imam al-Hussein in the equation. It is an honor to face difficulty in the way of Imam al-Hussein. Allah chose you for that. Look at the mentality of these companions. And he says, for our body parts to be cut into pieces. This is not anything gruesome from Burayr. But he shows Imam al-Hussein, even if our body was to be cut in pieces, for us it's an honor. Knowing that your grandfather is going to intercede for us on the day of judgment. Do you know what concepts, if you firmly understand them, change your life and the decisions you will make in life? Your firm and ground understanding of the day of judgment. If Burayr did not have this firm belief on the day of judgment, he would not have the courage to take this step. What do we know about Yawmul Qiyamah? From the Quran and from the Hadith, from the details and the stages and everything else that happens. This is the first stance of Burayr, or one stance of Burayr. And the second stance, because we are short on time, Zahiran. The second stance of Burayr, Ahibai, that shows you the adama of Burayr, was the fact that Imam al-Hussein gave Burayr permission to deliver a sermon or a khutbah on the day of Ashura. And from here we are able to understand that not only was Burayr a worshipper, not only was he a master in the recitation of Quran and the tafsir of the Quran. In addition to this, he was an author. In addition to this, he was an eloquent spokesman. These are the characters we need in this day and age if we are going to take lessons from the life of Burayr in order to be from the army of the Imam. And with all this, they were mentally and insanely in love with Imam al-Hussein, which we also need. Unconditional love. For Imam al-Hussein gives Burayr permission on the day of Ashura to give a khutbah. There were a number of people who gave sermons. Imam al-Hussein gave 2 khutbahs on the day of Ashura. Habib ibn Madahir gave a khutbah. Zuhair gave a khutbah. Burayr gave a khutbah. And when Burayr comes up, you can imagine it's the day of Ashura. The heat is at its peak. Men, women and children who have been thirsty for 3 days. Burayr in his old age, dressed in his battle gear, that is maybe perhaps just sufficient to protect him from some minor wounds, comes forward bravely in front of the army of the enemy. And he addresses the people. And he says to them, he begins by praising Rasulullah, by praising Allah and His Prophet. And he says to them, قَدْ أَرْسَلَ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ مُحَمَّدْ نَبِيًّا وَمُنذِرًا وَبَشِيرًا. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Allah Azza wa Jal sent the final prophet to you as a warner and as a person who gives you glad tidings and who invites you towards guidance and towards light. And you take the water of Furat away from them, from his family. He says, look at the Furat. The pigs and the dogs drink from the Furat, while the grandson of the Prophet and his granddaughters have been forbidden the water and are thirsty for 3 days. Is this how you reward the Prophet? Look at the way Burayr is addressing the issue of Imam al-Hussein. By you denying them water, by you oppressing them, you are oppressing the Prophet. You are ungrateful towards the Prophet. Burayr ties this part of the khutbah with the verse of the Quran. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. The people said to Rasulullah, how can we compensate you for all the efforts and all the pain that you have gone through in order to give us this beautiful and pure religion? Rasulullah said, you want to thank me? Show your love and your loyalty towards my Ahlul Bayt. So Burayr comes up to them by saying, is this how you repay the Prophet for all his efforts? By basically killing his women and children from thirst? And then he looks at the people and he says to them, and I ask you, what do you want to do with the women and the children? What do you want to do with this Hussein? They said back to Burayr, at this point they replied back, and they say to Burayr that he shall die thirsty like those before him, making a reference to Uthman ibn Affan. He said he will die thirsty like the way Uthman did, when in reality it is Imam al-Hussein and Amir al-Mu'mineen who sent water to the house of Uthman when he was under siege by the Muslims for corrupt practices and was eventually assassinated for that. Burayr says, what do you want from them? They say to Burayr that we shall not take a step back, we shall not retreat until we capture Hussein and take him to Yazid or to Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, and let Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad treat him. They wanted to make a slave out of Hussein. Burayr says to them, are you not happy? Will you not be content to walk away from this battle? I am paraphrasing the sermon of Burayr. Were you not content to walk away from the battlefield? Let Hussein and his family return back to where they came from. At the final moment, in this exceptionally difficult moment, Burayr, after 3 days of hunger and thirst, when the battle is just about to start, Burayr still gives the opposition an option of non-violence. Today Islam is known for violence because the teachings of the likes of Burayr are not mainstream. This is Islam. At that point, Burayr still gives them an option of non-violence. You find that the people replied back to Burayr. The Maqtal mentions by throwing stones at him. This is another life lesson that you learn from the Maqtal. The language of people who are defeated by logic is violence. Till today we see this. These are lessons that we take from Karbala. Burayr was forced to retreat back and Imam al-Hussein thanks him. These were people whom the verse of the Quran from Surah Al-Yasin is applicable upon them. سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Burayr rebuked them. He said, were you not the same people who wrote letters to Imam al-Hussein inviting him to Kufa, and now that you invited him, you are the same people who want to get him killed? They said, we don't understand what you're saying, Burayr. This is Karbala, and these are the lessons and the lives of these men who changed history. Inshallah, you and I are able to seek inspiration to follow within their characteristics. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The Maqtal of Burayr and the manner in which Burayr was killed. The narrations mention that on the day of Ashura, when the battle between Haqq and the Batil had begun, and the swords were clenching each other, and the limbs were flying in the air. The narrations mention that as the companions of Imam al-Hussein, one by one, each of them were martyred, and each one of them were killed in the most brutal of ways. After the Shahada, or after the martyrdom of Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, Hur, who had repented, went out to the battlefield, became Shaheed. After Hur, Burayr asked for permission. Burayr asked permission from his master Sayyid al-Shuhada. Burayr said to him, "O my master, give me the chance and the permission to go into the battlefield, for indeed I cannot wait to meet your grandfather in Jannah." Imam al-Hussein said, "O Burayr, go into the battlefield with my blessings, and indeed I shall meet you shortly within the heavens." Burayr, despite his old age, entered into the battlefield. He began to recite a poem introducing himself. "Ana Burayr ibn Khudayr." He says, "I am Burayr, the son of Khudayr. Laythun yarwa'ul asad inda dhayr." We are the lions that attack and that create fear in other lions during the time of difficulty. يعرف الخير بنا أهل الخير. The people of goodness know us through our generous traits. Burayr then went into the battlefield, and he began to courageously attack every one of the kuffar. All this time Burayr was crying out, "Atuqatiluna, atuqatiluna ibn bint Rasulillah." Are you the people who have the audacity to kill the son of the daughter of the Prophet? Come towards me if you have this audacity. Burayr fought with courage, and Burayr fought with valor until he killed 30 of the enemies, sending them towards Nar Jahannam wa bi'as al-masir. When the people were not able to conquer Burayr, a person known as Ibn Munkidh came and began to attack Burayr. Burayr's sword fell from his hand. They both engaged in a tussle and a wrestle. Burayr brought him down to the ground, and when he was seated on his chest, Burayr was about to hit him. Munkidh called out, "O my fellow helpers from the army of Ibn Sa'ad, come and help me." The narrations mention that at this time a mal'un from the tribe of Azadi came and struck Burayr with a spear from his back. He lodged the entire spear into the back of Burayr. The narrations mention Burayr fell down, blood coming out from his mouth, blood coming out from his back. At this point, Burayr, when he fell to the ground, he tried to stand up. The Maqtal says Burayr stood up with a spear firmly planted in his back. He was not able to move to the right, neither to the left. At this time, the coward from the tribe of Azadi came. They began to strike Burayr with swords, some of them on his head, some of them on his body. Ya Allah, Burayr fell down to the ground covered in blood. But when Burayr fell down, he turned for a final time towards the tents and he looked at Imam al-Hussein. Burayr's soul left the dunya while he was looking at his master Aba Abdullah. I say, Burayr, how fortunate are you that you closed your eyes in your final breath. You died with a smile because you looked at the face of your master. Oh Burayr, let me ask you, what did your master see during his final moments? Allah, what did Imam al-Hussein see in his final moments? The narrations mention that when he fell down from the horse covered in wounds, surrounded by the enemies, Imam al-Hussein from the corner of his eye looks at his women and his daughters. Imam al-Hussein sees Zainab cry out, Wa Husseina! was worried about Zainab becoming a prisoner. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ما تمحوا شيء. Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا ہے علم علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا علمدار ہمارا، حیدر کے گھرانے کی سخاوت سخی عباس، خون ابو طالب کے صداست سخی عباس، زہرا کی دعاؤں کی طہارت سخی عباس، قدرت نے بنایا نہیں پھر ایسا دوبارہ سخی عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، عباس ہمارا ہے علم مل کے بولو ہمارا، قرآن وفا شیر نیف شان علی ہے، زہرا کی تمنا ہے دل و جان علی ہے، اس کے لیے بچپن ہی سے فرمان علی ہے، میں علم کا دریا ہوں یہ دریا کا کنارہ، سخی عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا، 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 عباس ہمارا ہے علم
دار ہمارا. پیدا ہوئے عباس کو گودی میں اٹھا کر زینب نے رکھا نام کلیجے سے لگا کر. چھوٹا سا علم شہ نے دیا ان کو سجا کر. دیکھا جو علم نے تو علم خود یہ پکارا سخی عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار. عباس عباس ہمارا ہے. بولتے رہو بولتے رہو. ہمارا یہ پنجتن پاک کے لشکر کا نشاں ہے. کہتے ہیں یہ شبیر میرا شیر جواں ہے. ایسا کوئی دنیا میں علمدار کہا ہے. سہون سے شہباز قلندر کا یہ نعرہ سخی عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علم. ہمارا عباس عباس علی روح وفا جان وفا ہے. عباس علی فاطمہ زہرا کی دعا ہے. ہر وقت علم چومتی رہتی یہ ہوا ہے. بھولا نہیں دریا بھولا نہیں عباس کو دریا کا کنارہ. سخی عباس ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علم. ہمارا دنیا شہادت میں کہا اس کا ہے ثانی. جو سارے شہیدوں کی صفوں میں رہا غازی. بے دست بھی ہو کر جو بھرے جو لیا سب کی. ہاشم کا کمر سارے فقیروں کا سہارا. سخی عباس راہ علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار ہمارا. عباس ہمارا ہے علمدار. ہمارا عباس محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے. محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس ہے. اس نوری کارواں میں نوری اماریا ہے. نوری اماریوں میں نوری سواریا ہے. نوری سواریا ہے. سر پر علم کھلا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے. ہے نام عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس زندہ ہے. نامحرموں کا مجمع ہٹ ہٹ کہ گزرتا, پہرے میں باوفا کے طے ہو رہا ہے رستا, طے ہو رہا ہے رستا. کیا شان و دبدبا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے, ابھی دور کربلا ہے, ابھی دور کربلا ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے, عباس ماشاءاللہ ماشاءاللہ زندہ ہے, عباس زندہ ہے. عباس جیسا بائی سالار کارواں ہے, بولے حسین مجھ کو پھر کوئی غم کہا ہے, پھر کوئی غم کہا ہے. ہر غم کی یہ دوا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے, عباس جو زندہ ہے, عباس جو زندہ ہے, عباس جو زندہ ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے, عباس ہے, عباس عباس ہے. زینب حیا کی ملکہ کلثوم اور رقیہ, لیلا رباب فروا کبرا سکینہ فیضا, کبرا سکینہ فیضا. ہر بی بی باردہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے. ابھی دور کربلا ہے, ابھی دور کربلا ہے, ابھی دور کربلا ہے. عباس جو زندہ ہے, 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 عباس جو زندہ ہے. اصغر سے کھیلتی ہے خوش ہے بہت سکینہ, جب چاہتی ہے سونا ہے بابا جا کا سینہ, ہے بابا جا کا سینہ. غم سے ناشنا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے, عباس جو زندہ ہے. علامہ 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 علامہ. بولو نیاز حسین. علامہ 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 ہائے علامہ ہائے گستاخوں کے ہجوم میں, گستاخوں کے ہجوم میں زینب تھی درمیان. علامہ 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 یہ سوچ کے سجاد کا دل خون رو پڑا، یہ سوچ کے سجاد کا دل خون رو پڑا، تفسیر بیرداتی تفسیر بیرداتی نیزے پہ تا قرآن، علامہ 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 ہے غصتاخوں کے ہجوم میں، غصتاخوں کے ہجوم میں زینب تھی درمیان، علامہ 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 حیران ہو بازار سے کیسے گزر گئی، حیران ہو بازار سے کیسے گزر گئی، تفسیر بیرداتی تفسیر بیرداتی نیزے پہ تا قرآن، علامہ 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 ہے غصتاخوں کے ہجوم میں، غصتاخوں کے ہجوم میں زینب تھی درمیان، علامہ 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 حیران ہو بازار سے کیسے گزر گئی، حیران ہو بازار سے کیسے گزر گئی، تفسیر کی پلیتی تطہیر کی پلیتی بازار کا سامان، علامہ 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 حیا علی خیر العمل، 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 حیا علی خیر العمل 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 خیر العمل حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین آخری مرسا یا حسین مل کے پڑھنے ایوری ون ٹوگیدر بسم اللہ حسین وہ عابد بیمار تھا وہ عابد بیمار تھا چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا ہائے شام کا بازار تھا اور شام کا بازار تھا اور مصطفیٰ کی بیٹیاں مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین بار الہ بن کے سوالی تیرے حضور بار الہ بن کے سوالی تیرے حضور دامن میں اپنے لائے ہے بے انتہا قصور لیکن ہمارے سینوں پہ ماتم کا دیکھ نور اپنے نبی کے صدقے میں بخشے گا تو ضرور یا وجیہان عند اللہ اشفع لنا مل کے اللہ مالک تجھے امام حسن کا ہے واسطہ جس کے لہو سے کرب و بلا کی ہے ابتدا ہاں اس امام امن کے صدقے میں کبریا ہر ملک میں ہو امن کا پرچم کھلا ہوا یا وجی
Sheikh.